What is happening there, Reject Nation? Greg and John here today. So I was on Twitter and I saw my trending Daniel Craig with John Krasinski. Did not click on it. And then I saw Paul, heavy spoilers, upload a video about deleted scenes and cameos and such that had Daniel Craig in the thumbnail. And I was like, let me just let Paul explain it to us. Guys, leave a like, subscribe to Heavy Spoilers. He's in desperate need right now of more followers. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and though Kevin Feige tried to cast a memory spell to make us forget all the scenes that we know are gonna be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the memory still remains. Throughout this video, we'll be going through all the leaks that line up with the theatrical release, the cameos that the creative team have talked about, and the scenes that didn't make the final cut. We know from interviews with both Sam Raimi and writer Michael Waldron that there was 40 minutes cut from the film, and that the reshoots also did some things differently to what we got in the film. Now you might remember last year that we did a big video discussing the plot leaks for the film, and now that the movie's released, having gone back to these, they were pretty much 90% right, with some major inconsistencies and added scenes.
Give yourself
all
the credit.
Cameos, variants, how they die, and the journey is there. It's just different details put in place for some parts that you can go check out if you want. Now just a disclaimer for this stuff. In the build up to a movie, it's actually not considered fair use to report on leaks that you know to be true, which is why a lot of plot leak videos tend to have people saying, this apparently happens, rumor has it, and so on. If you say that things should be taken with a grain of salt, you're normally in the clear, which is why a lot of my videos that turn out to be true still have this kind of language in there. Now that the film is out though, I can say I know for definite that
sausage is made
in it, in which he went to visit Wanda at the start of the movie. If you cast your mind back to the end of Doctor Strange, then you'll remember that the post-credit scene had him going on a quest to kill the wizarding world worse than Fantastic Beasts did.
That was my
In
first
Multiverse
thought.
of Madness, Strange even mentions how Mordo has been trying to kill him when he meets the Illuminati version, but this is something that we've never seen, and it's definitely not something that he would really know about, as Mordo never really said anything along those lines at their last meeting. Now Mordo was going to be the main villain that showed up in the introduction to the movie, and he'd be used to demonstrate Wanda's new ruthless attitude. He would go to attack her, and she'd turn him into Mom's spaghetti, beheading him within seconds of his arrival. It was going to be a big way to start the film, and it instantly cemented Wanda as the villain. From here, we then jump to the Gap Junction,
Interesting intro.
Introduced to America Chavez and Defender Strange.
Okay, whoa, that'd be kind of a lot of opening right there.
Be like an 80s slasher movie.
It's like right there, and then bam, we're in Defender Strange and Chavez. That's a lot going on. But yeah, that was one of the disappointing factors to me about this film, because Mordo's my favorite character. I want more
Justice
Mordo.
for Mordo.
Oh, more Mordo. That's what we're all
Mordo
saying.
T-shirt.
I see it all the time as a main hashtag trending.
Right, always trending.
Always more Mordo. That was the cliffhanger of the first Doctor Strange movie, and it did strike me as odd how they just kind of wrote it off with like a funny line of like, yeah, he swore to kill off all these people, and then haha, he hugs him. I feel like this movie really severely underutilized what they set up for him, but if they had that would at least acknowledge it'd be a direct sequel to the post-credit scene of the first Doctor Strange movie. I don't know what effect it would have had. It definitely would have been a shocker, though.
To me, it's like one of those 80s slasher moments where it's like, oh, cool character from last time. Oh, no, they're dead in the first 5 minutes. Great.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think for this theatrical release, the build-up to Wanda's escalating violence is more rewarding, I think, than watching her right away murder someone.
Seeing the movie for myself, I can definitely see why they cut this introduction, as I much prefer learning the twist as Doctor Strange discovers it. I think it would make the movie pretty clunky to have this open it, learn she's bad, jump to the Gap Junction, then jump to the MCU, then have Strange go to Wanda to learn what we found out 20 minutes before.
I still want to see the scene.
This also leaves Mordo's fate out in the open, and interestingly, both he and the A38 version are still alive.
Mordo universe!
Only surviving
Mordo crossover!
And perhaps they'll be doing something with him in the future. Huge shout out to Josh from Denim Nerds for pointing that out, and it does leave a lot in the air for the future of the franchise. Now, Tom Cruise's Iron Man is probably the biggest rumor that surrounded the movie before its release. Fueled by the Ultron bots and the quick cut of Captain Marvel, many thought that this was in fact him instead of Lashana Lynch. I might have said Mephisto was coming, yeah, but at least I can die happy knowing that I never said Lashana Lynch was Tom Cruise. Anyway, I'll let that go. I've taken the enough out of that one. I'm sorry. This is the last time.
Hey, just want everyone to know, since everyone's giving themselves credit. I said in our video when we were talking about possible rumors that I didn't think Tom Cruise would actually be in this movie.
Oh, damn. You're a bold one. You're a rebel. You're a maverick, G.
Yeah, I went against the grain.
That's right, and it paid off big time.
Paid off. I wish I was wrong.
We all do.
Now, I actually discussed this in a video and said how I'd heard from multiple sources that he wasn't going to be in the film, but that I'd also heard from some that I trusted that he actually was. It was all kind of up in the air, no one knew for definite, but Michael Waldron has discussed this rumor with Yahoo Entertainment. Initially he said Tom Cruise was indeed on the cards for a cameo, but that they couldn't get him due to scheduling conflicts with the Mission Impossible movies.
Those damn
However,
movies.
He did say that he was happy they got Haley Atwell, who is also starring in the upcoming MI films. I have actually heard there have been conversations behind the scenes and that there are plans to have Cruise appear in some form as Tony Stark further down the line. Much like John Krasinski, it's a fan casting that people want, and with Waldron admitting that he was brought up at one point, it could potentially be a possibility in a future film.
Wow.
There were also discussions like this with Deadpool, and in an interview with comicbook.com, the screenwriter discussed how they did talk about bringing in the Merc with a mouth. However, they realised that due to the tone of the film, that this wasn't the right place to drop him in, and ultimately scrapped him faster than Obadiah Stane knocks his tie out the way.
Yeah, I thought it'd be in it. I thought for sure Ryan Reynolds was lying.
Yeah, and everybody surrounding Ryan Reynolds who lied.
Yep, they thought it was an Andrew Garfield thing.
Yeah. Too bad.
Yep.
Multiverse of Deadpool.
Many people, of course, thought they saw Deadpool on the poster for the movie, but they got you again, you punk. You damn chump.
Then who was it then?
We also had a scene where we discovered the 616 version of Reed Richards was Jimmy Woo. Now on top of this, there's also supposed to be an appearance by Balder the Brave, which I've seen certain elements for. In the Illuminati scene, we of course saw that there were 6 chairs and a space for Professor X. Balder was originally supposed to be the 7th member, but this has now kind of been rushed to the side, with the empty chair being chalked up to belonging to Supreme Strange. However, Mordo overtook his position, and this is because he wasn't in the Illuminati beforehand, which is why he didn't appear on Titan along with the rest of the group.
Of course.
During the fight with Wanda, Balder was going to be talked into ending his own life by the witch, but this was apparently taken out so that the focus for this could be given to Black Bolt. Again, it's probably the better way to do things, and there's already enough Illuminati members as it is, so I can see why they removed things for the final cut. This is a similar situation to Captain Marvel, who was originally supposed to appear at the end of Age of Ultron. They even filmed scenes for this with a stand-in, but they were removed for the final cut. Now today there was a report from Deadline which said that Daniel Craig was originally supposed to be playing Reed Richards. However, my sources told me about 6 months ago that he was actually playing Balder the Brave, and they sent some photos of props across as evidence. I think Craig as Balder, aka Thor's brother, makes way more sense, and recently when stuff was cut, my sources said they couldn't understand why this was, as he's such a big name.
Oh, wasn't Daniel Craig originally one of the people courted to play Thor? Am I wrong about that?
Ooh, I'd never heard that.
I know, I feel like we would have heard that a bunch.
I feel like that would come up a lot in conversation.
I know Tom Hiddleston was.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you could see him as, I think he's Thor's half-brother, and you could see him as Thor's half-brother.
I was going to say, either way, I'm glad that it is this case if it does turn out to be that he is Balder, because he would make a perfect, like, grizzled brother to Thor who's maybe not quite as jovial.
I don't know if you could get away with the guy. Like, what happened with Black Bolt was accidental, panic-stricken mode. I don't know if you can get away with a guy just killing himself. That might be a little too dark for your Marvel PG-13 movie.
I feel like that would cross a line.
However, apparently Craig dropping out was due to a spike in pandemic cases, so I think that's why he was removed and also replaced. Olsen recently dropped an interview stating that she'd never even met John Krasinski, and I believe that he was someone propped up in the reshoots, which is why his stuff looks a bit out of place. Probably shot on a green screen and then dropped in last minute in order to replace Craig, who couldn't make it to the film.
That's why no one reacts to his death.
At one point was a member of the group, and we know that he will be appearing in the upcoming Black Panther Wakanda Forever film. In the comics, he, like Professor X, Reed and Strange were all members of the Illuminati, but Namor was cut for a specific reason. Feige apparently wanted to save his introduction for the upcoming Black Panther sequel, and thus they removed him early on in the scripting process, so that his debut wouldn't be ruined.
Well, let's get Reed Richards.
Also discussed that Dr. Nicodemus West was going to be in the Illuminati universe as well. Played by Michael Stuhlbarg, West pulls from the comics, and in those, he was a villain. In the MCU, West was the one who operated on Strange's hands after the crash, and he also appears in the film at the wedding. He definitely blames Strange for robbing him of the opportunity to say goodbye to his cats and also his brother. He seems to accept that there was no other way, but mocks Strange a bit by sarcastically saying he was the best surgeon and the best superhero. Stuhlbarg's name even appeared on the poster, so it was pretty clear that he might have had more of a major role, or that they were hiding the cameos.
Stillbarg even had a single credit at the very end where they're doing everyone's names as if he's like a big deal. But yeah, I think in the Oath comic that I read a few months ago, he was pretty bad in that one.
Dude, he could team up with Mordo down the line.
It felt like weird, perfunctory, bring back character from first one so people know this is a part 2 and not just another Marvel movie that features. You know what I'm getting at?
I really think it feels like, hey, remember this guy, because he'll be important later, even though this scene, kind of a random cameo.
This is really a part 2. So bring back person from prior one, so it's definitively clear.
Waldron stated that he worked at the Illuminati headquarters in 838 and that he would mock Strange during the lockup scene. When Wanda arrived to grab America, he would have been ripped apart with the rest of the Illuminati, but this death would have happened off screen. Waldron said that he died like Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park and not like in Deep Blue Sea, though he said that would have been amazing. Now, much like how Jackson's Ray is killed off screen by a velociraptor only for a body part to show up later on, Wes was going to be killed by Wanda, and as Christine and America fled to an elevator, the door would open and his head would roll out of it.
Whoa.
Pretty gory, and I would have loved to have seen the scene, but unfortunately it's now on the cutting room floor along with West's head. And Mordo's, to be fair. Now, upon arriving at Comatage, we get a whole host of new characters, including Rintrah and Sarah. These aren't really expanded upon all that much in the film, and if you don't know what comics they pulled from, you'd probably be like, giant Minotaur walking around. Weird. Now, there are Funko Pops for them, even though they probably get about 2 minutes of screen time.
I'll always take a giant Minotaur walking around.
More expanded roles originally, and Sarah was actually teased at being a love interest for Wong.
That would have been more heartbreaking.
Let the man love.
Could be a bit close, but any romantic feelings between them is completely skipped over. I don't know if it would have been too much of a distraction to have it in the movie, and that we'd even have enough time to fully flesh out the feelings that the pair share. It kinda also changes up the dynamics for the ending of the movie, as Wong says that he's pretty content with the way things are. He's somewhat happy Hogan in a way. Wait, bad example now.
Yeah, man, that would have made that death more impactful. But kids are pretty scared during that scene. That's a scary ass moment for kids when she dies. I keep wondering if like the extended cut would have a Zack Snyder's Justice League feel, where I'm like, oh, now I can't watch the original. Now the original's bad.
It's just, it feels too truncated.
People already thought the first Justice League was bad, and they were like, I thought it was fun.
I was going to say, we should be spoiled by a situation where it's, just the extended cut is just way better than this already pretty good thing.
Yeah, I like this movie.
Raimi did say that there would be 3 of the deleted scenes included in the home release of the film.
Really?
And that he knew what they were. However, he wouldn't tell us. I'm guessing that they're still finalizing what to put out there. What would you have liked to have seen in the movie? Should these scenes have been kept? Comment below and let me know.
Well, I feel like the one that would work best for emotional story context would be Wong's love interest.
Yeah, let's just get 20 minutes of deleted Wong love interest scenes.
Yeah, send sex toys through the sling.
Yeah, that's all right, dude. Think of all the sex positions you could do in a sling rig. You know, you could have you on one side, your partner in the Himalayas or something on the other side.
Easy to cut yourself, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, close down.
Anyway,
these are the things we get to think about.
Yeah, but I want them all. Give them all. Give them all to me.
Sexy Marvel.
Give them all to me.
Sexy
and
Marvel.
Send over Daniel Craig's negotiations too.
Send over all the concept art, every idea that hit the cutting room.
Throw it in there. Throw it all in there. All right, guys. Paul, thanks for being sexy. This is fun. This was a really fun one. Thanks for putting this together, man. You did good, kid.
You're gonna be something someday, Paul.
See you, everyone.